Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan, and we're doing a quick channel check, comm check, mic check, and video check. If you can hear me, if I'm 5x5, drop a comment down below. We are monitoring comments during this. Me and my cameraman are going to get up and walk around a little bit and talk to some people, see what's going on. And we're coming up towards the end of the day. We had it was a really busy day. We weren't quite as prepared as we wanted to be. We're using this as a live stream test. Check one, check two, and drop a comment. There's about a 30-second delay between the time I say it and call for comments to the time you're able to see comments. There's a delay on my end. There's a delay on their end. So we're here at Summer Bash. Summer Bash this year is brought to you by Bar Z Industrial. You can always visit Bar Z Industrial at barzindustrial.com. How are we looking, folks? Am I distorted? Am I too loud? Am I too close to the mic? All right, let's get them cruise around a little bit. I'm going to take some shortcuts. And I'm going to hold this open for my cameraman. All right, buddy, you're clear. And we are winding down for the day. We just got random people. There's randos. What's your name?
Brendan Hilton.
You having a good time?
I'm having a great time, Stan.
Is this your first year?
It is.
Well, what do you think of Bar Z? And what do you think of the swap meet?
Well, after that killer deal you gave me on that KDK, I'm your new best friend.
Amen. There's a bunch of stuff in the swap meet. We're going to go around and look at it. Why don't you pan around the table and look at these guys around here?
We don't need any other people hoarding in on the good deals, so just stay home.
Well, no, they're not going to come see you.
Oh, okay.
Most of these guys are deadbeats and they're just hanging out on the internet, and they're not going to come out.
So
But
might be good stuff tomorrow I want to buy.
they're missing out, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Anything you want to tell all the people back out there in internet land about the Summer Bash?
Yeah, it's pretty mint.
There you go. If you didn't come to Summer Bash, you blew it. What about you? What's your name?
Matt.
What's that again?
Matt.
You having a good time?
Yeah, I'm having a good time.
First year?
First time, yeah.
Okay. Did you buy anything at the swap meet?
I left all my money at home.
I bet you're bringing money tomorrow, right?
Well, I mean, I could run to the ATM.
Absolutely. Hey, I think we should put in an ATM here. What do you think?
Yeah, we could do it.
Absolutely. All right. I'm just going to hand the mic to Keith.
You're not going to ask me my name?
Who are you, sir?
Yeah. My name's Hector. Hector P. Runtengrunt.
You having a good time at the bash?
Yeah, I'm having an awesome time.
All right. Did you buy anything?
Actually, I did, yes.
Did you sell anything?
I sold some stuff too.
All right.
I think I'm still in the hole, though.
Think
Well-
Bar Z should put in an ATM machine?
I think you should definitely have an ATM machine.
All right.
Just don't tell our wives about that.
You just did. Is your wife watching back home? Okay, well, that's good. You're safe. All right, we're going to go take a walk around the swap meet. Thanks, fellas. We're going to start off with Tom Lipton's table. He's got a gargantuan straight edge, and I'm surprised Keith hadn't picked this up. That's stamped United States Air Force. Over here is a granite straight edge. There's kind of lifting straps on it. That should give you the first clue of what that's all about. I don't even know where Lipton is. Let's keep going down the table this way if you can. How you doing? Doing good? I think I went over some of this morning. Just stare it. He got picked pretty clean, though. I'll tell you, I went through. Keep on going. Georgia, we're working on comments. Anybody asking anything? Okay. Let me get ahead of you there. Tom Lipton stops here. But this is a cool piece. This is an old German-made decal. Somebody's custom painted it. He still hasn't sold that. But Dale Dairy starts right here. Dale Derry's got a bunch of vintage stuff going on here. He's got the old tachometers, speed indicators, bunch of drill bits. We actually had a guy sharpening drill bits this morning. Some of his drill bits got sharpened for free. Not sure whose this is, but there's some high-speed spindles in there. Keith Rucker. Over here we got a gentleman from Martin Precision Tool. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your product?
Sure. Hi, I'm Dustin, and this is a torque wrench adapter system that we have. Oh, sorry. So yeah, this is our torque wrench adapter system. So this allows you to use an ER32. Sorry. So you can use like an ER16 collet and torque it down with your torque wrench. So normally systems like this cost $300-400 for the torque wrench, then you pay for the individual heads. Here you just have to pay for the adapter, and then you can use it with your standard torque wrench.
Nice. So that's for ER32, and what's the other one?
ER40, ER25, and ER16 we have 2 different variants for, and we're going to be offering some more sizes later in the year.
Nice. And you donated a couple of these to the raffle. That was a last minute addition, and we sure appreciate that. And you know, if these were made in Australia, you know what they'd be missing, or you know what you're missing? You know, those guys put a bottle opener on everything. I bet you could use that as a bottle opener if you needed to, though. It looks like you could, you know. Thanks for showing this. Thanks for coming out to the bash. Are you planning on making other sizes later?
Yeah, we're going to offer some other sizes later. We're just going to research what's the right ones. On our YouTube channel, we also have some machine rebuilding content because I was doing machine rebuilding before doing this. I just needed to shift gears and do something a little different, but that's all.
I get it. Now, you're going to say, why would I want to use a torque wrench on an ER collet? Repeatability. You know, some guys are big and strong. I know they give you some kind of a wrench or some kind of a spanner to close up your collets. Somebody that's had a feel for wrenches is, you know, they're going to pull it in nice and tight, but you're going to give it to maybe someone that's younger, or the field is going to change, and you're not ever going to have consistent readings. But with a torque wrench, young, old, experienced, non-experienced, you're always going to get the same torque. Torque is torque, and you want to keep your collets at a very specific torque. Do you have some type of table or recommendation for all the different size collets?
Yeah, so when you scan the QR code on the device here, you'll enter in some information about your torque wrench, just the length, and then it generates a table for you that has the different offsets that you would use.
Nice. Now, I mean, do you have any other products besides these little wrenches? Is this your unit?
No, this is a test setup. So the idea, what I was going to demonstrate here, is you can. Sorry. So we have the torque wrench here set up for 26.9 foot-pounds, and the target we're shooting for is just around 30 foot-pounds for ER16. So we'll just do this to. Okay. And then to verify that we were actually getting close to 30 foot-pounds, we're going to use our torque tester. Now the distance to center is actually the same on all of these, so we can use one of our calibration nuts here to verify that we're actually hitting about 30 foot-pounds. So we'll just come over here real quick, and then using our setup. All right, so 32 foot-pounds. So that's still pretty good for getting close to 30 there.
Okay, nice. And your website is?
MartinPrecision.com, and And then we were doing a special rate here for the bash today. So.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm going to put a QR code in front of the camera, and we're just going to hold it really still. You guys can pause it, hit that QR code, and visit his YouTube channel. And moving away from the QR code in 3, 2, 1. Say goodbye. All right. I appreciate you talking to me.
Thank you so much.
All right. You betcha. All right. Let's work our way over to the shop. There's more stuff to look at. There's stand stuff, but there's a bunch of new stuff from last several hours. This was an interesting piece. Oxygen and acetylene go here. Flashback arresters, mixing valve, main feed, some kind of an igniter box, main valve, another flashback arrestor, goes down. Apparently you drop this into a gopher hole, and it just blows gophers underground. I think that's a must-have. Anyways, I'm pretty sure the sun's going to blow you out, so we're going to get into the shop kind of quickly. Are we going to lose contact with them when we go in the shop? No. Just Clark back there. No kidding. Hey, Clark. Thought I might catch you back here drinking beer. Just missed you. How'd your casting class go today?
Well, it was good. It was good. Poor results for the sand we were using, but poor results for the sand we were using. But it was doable. We poured one more. We haven't pulled out of the sand yet, but and we're going to pour one just for ingots to get rid of this in the kiln and shut it down. So
do you think finer sand would have done you any good?
it would have helped.
Okay. The people that were in your class today, do you think they grasped the basics of molding sand and creating molds for pouring?
Yes, matter of fact, they just left to try it themselves. They're already building a kiln.
Nice. But did you let them try to create their own molds?
By the time their turn came around, they were gone. And the ones that are here, that were there for that, they don't want to do it. So I decided to go ahead and just ram up an ingot mold where we could get this shut down for today.
Pour it off. Okay. All right. So that's the casting class at Bar Z today. I hope they found it interesting.
I think they did. These guys have.
What would you do different next year?
I don't know. It's hard to say yet. I'm going to have a better plan and action for that for next year, I hope.
Got it. I was with you when we had some casting in Florida, and we were trying to do it in a cast iron mold.
Yeah, that didn't work. That was an experiment that I didn't have time to proof out before we got to Florida, and it was a total disaster. But you know, that's part of it.
All right. Well, thanks for taking time to talk to us. I'm sorry the oven's so underpowered. That is a glass oven, by the way. What they use that oven for is for slumping glass. If you don't know what slumping glass is, I'm not really clear on it either. But they put a plate in it and sprinkle little chips of glass on it, and they let the little chips of glass slump into the main work. That's it. One trick pony. That's all that thing does. And I turned it into a smelting furnace by changing the controller and hopping up the element as much as I could. But I think I'm going to feed that thing about another 500 watts because, you know what, I got a 200-mile-an-hour speedometer on a Yugo.
If you'll stick around when we get ready to pour this ingot mold, it's going to be the top of it and see how a mold actually feels.
How long is that going to be? Or you're waiting on the Yugo?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to do it while I'm still a young man, but we're going to go around and interview the folks inside. And
What's the temperature right now?
I don't know. Let's take a look. I got to get the sand off my butt. You're at 1,318 degrees. and rising. And for that, I'd recommend a 1350 target, and then about a 20-minute heat soak, and pour it. That's just me as an oven man. That's not you as a foundry man. So this is us trying to collaborate. I know what I think, and I know how I think ovens operate, and you know the metal. I'm just the source of the heat. All right, buddy, we're going to go inside the shop and talk to a few people, and we'll swing back by, and maybe you'll be ready to pour. All right. Be careful. That is hot. This one right here, you can see the molten aluminum on this side, and I believe these are ingots right here that he's getting ready to pour. Those two there. So this is just going to be 2 blocks of, and those are cut up Toyota timing. You're going to like it in here. It's air conditioned. There. I'm just going to come. Just why don't you? Can you give him a little room there? Come on over here. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. Let's see. We can go back in there. Let's see if the door open makes a difference. I didn't even think about the door being closed, but I know why it's closed. It's fine.
Well, no, we're just trying to keep stragglers out of there. Georgia, we got any comments? No, you're kidding me.
Everything is basically talking about like saying hi to you or the
No
no sound.
sound?
It's back now.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to try it again. We're going to go in this side of the shop. And I think maybe we're going to... Yeah, you better watch out. We're trying to get some video of what he's doing there, if you don't mind. If you'd let my cameraman in there. There you go. Currently zoomed in on a what tooth gear. I got Andrew Prestridge from Evolvement with me here today.
Yeah, this is a 58 tooth gear. It's one module.
Stay on that.
And we're cutting it the old-fashioned way on a mill, one tooth gap at a time.
I see that.
The dividing head is set up and indexed. one tooth gap at a time. It's a 90-to-1 gear ratio in the dividing head. So that always makes you have to calculate a little bit of math to do the dividing head and come out with the right number of teeth, so you don't have leftover. You don't have either a big gap or a blank that's not cut.
Well, the proof is in the last cut. Nothing else matters except the last cut.
The suspense is all in the last cut for sure.
Now everyone that's out there can go to the evolventdesign.com.
There's lots of videos of gears on our YouTube channel, gears in our Instagram channel on Village Hobber or evolventdesign.com, and on our website. There's a lot of free calculators there as well. So a lot of support for beginning gear makers there. That's all free resource. That's for everybody to hop over some of these hurdles and make it easy, because it's hard enough to do it to start with.
Well, I tell you, I always love seeing gears being made on equipment that everybody has. Most everybody's got a mill. Most everybody's got some kind of dividing head, or this is my personal dividing head that we're using. It's technically a super spacer with where I bought the wheels and the indexing kit separately from Vertex.
Yeah, and it's what people do when they're bootstrapping a shop, right? They're buying used equipment. Usually the gear is always what's broken in it, so how do I make my own gear? It's a natural skill you want to have for your shop. And people will come to you, and a lot of people need gears fixed and all sorts of stuff, clocks. What were you fixing the other day?
I don't even know what it was. Gear broke, stand fix.
Yeah, stand fix. And so it's a great skill to have for your machine shop. Most everybody's got a lathe and a mill, and the mill is the first and easiest choice to run this method. These indexing heads are also just a great natural next step when you get a plane mill to increase its capabilities, have another axis on the table. So it's a big opener to all these other types of parts you can make, round parts.
Now, I notice you're using one of my expanding arbors.
Not my favorite, but it works in this case, and I always appreciate that you have them here, because there's an infinite set of gear blank holding tools here when we show up, and I appreciate that.
Well, the trouble with those expanding arbors, they are notorious for just doing the slightest amount of slipping.
That's not good on the setup, and the whole class has talked about it a bunch.
Oh yeah.
And we usually set this up. Now, I never let anybody get hurt. We never do anything dangerous. But before we turn it on, I always ask everybody, does this look like a good setup? And so initially we had the gear cutter turning the other way, and it was going to make the arbor come loose.
Well, that's going to spin the nut off.
Yep. And so we talked about that, and I said, no, I don't think we want to do this setup. So these are the great learning things we can take care of here, so when you get to your shop, you're going to have success.
Well, the thing is, with what we're doing here, you're cutting one gear at a time, right?
Yeah, one space at a time, yeah.
Well, those expanding arbors, if you put multiple parts on them, I can guarantee that one of those parts is going to be tight.
Yeah, exactly. So one at a time, onesies is good for this.
If you're going to do multiple gears, to me, I would machine an arbor and leave the arbor slightly short, stacked together very tightly if you're going to gang mill gears.
Yes, and if you're going to make a gear and do those types of things, some parts just require the fixture, and that becomes a project of its own. That's really important. You get concentric and round and think through those geometries to make it. So that'd be a lathe part, right? Threaded arbor, trim the arbor or grind it perfectly, round. And so there's just a ton of great fun skills to go through here. And it's very powerful. This will be a really nice operational gear. It'll work. We're cutting it out of aluminum today because it's cheap and easy. Not a lot of cutting pressure. But you can lay this down on your mill and cut one out of steel just fine.
I wouldn't think twice about it, but if it was me doing it, I wouldn't be using that arbor. No, it's okay. Yeah. This is a class, and it's probably good. Until he's done with that gear.
I could talk all day about gears. What else do you want to know? This is a one module gear, which it's just a box of numbers. American gears are historically pitch. standard pitch gears. But most of the rest of the world works in metric, and that's a module system. So unfortunately, pitch and module are inversely proportional. So then the numbers get a little messy, all right? But we're working with the module gear here. The math is slightly easier, but they both make the same kind of gears. They're standard cutters for pitch, and they're standard cutters for module. So most of the stuff is available for pretty much anything you'd want to do out there. And these single row cutters, they're good for just a very specific tooth range. So if you want to make a 27 tooth gear, you got to buy the cutter that's good for 24 to 30. And they're not going to be the exact involute shape, but they're going to be very, very close. So for, you know, for things that don't fly and for things that don't have a huge consequence, like fixing your lathe, your quick change gearbox, a lot of those gears are easily made in this way. Yep. You can fix your lathe and put it back together.
Some technical difficulties and they need your help. Or either that or they lost count of where they were.
That's the problem.
If you lose count on one, that screws up everything from there on. Everything from out for. Lost a wheel.
No.
And we still got to get.
The sector slips trying to reset the sector, so we're good.
We're trying to find enough to talk so you can finish and we get to see a. Is this the first one y'all have cut?
This is the first one we've cut.
All right. Well, we're going to stick around. We're going to try to stick around and talk about gears until he's done. And we're going to see if the arbor slips or that sector mishap screwed us up.
Well, you'll be able to tell when this gear runs against another one because it will not. It'll make a little noise, but we'll be able to see it too.
Have you got some kind of tester?
I did not bring my tester. No. Normally, I'd bring a dual flank tester or a template gauge that you could run and see if it's got the right pitch. But it's pretty obvious when they get to the end and there's too much of a space or not enough space. Tooth gear or it's not.
Well,
it's gonna make a lot of noise when it runs.
And we're not going to be completely sure whether it's a slipping arbor or that sector mishap just now.
Yeah. That's kind of the fun of this is I think if you look at our setup, our tailstock is a tiny, tiny bit off. We were able to get tools in there on the arbor and get it set up as good as we possibly could. But, you know, we're getting it done today. We're cutting the gear so everybody can see the process. And so everybody gets quite a few turns and then we just keep going. Yeah, I like it. Last year, just so you know, we cut a gear. We made it more than halfway around. Then we had an issue. But I still was able to put 2 pins across it, which is the way you measure it, measurement over pins. And we were within 1,000.
Something?
Yeah, those are ANSI Z sun
Safety glasses in the middle room.
but no, it's quite fashionable.
All right, most of you guys have some kind of eyewear on, except my cameraman.
See the lens, but the chips are flying the other way.
Yeah, we put him in a safe, a no-fly zone.
That's always super helpful when you're cutting these gears. low and slow is always good to start with. We're cutting aluminum today. Frequency drive, you could slow it down a little bit or speed it up a little bit.
Why don't you have them using the power feed?
You would do it in practice.
Right.
You can cut a really good gear in this method. So it's the best way to get what you want for, you'll spend elbow grease, but you won't spend a lot of dough.
It's really easy to become complacent while you're cutting a gear. Usually, I bet you all the mistakes happen in maybe the last 25% of getting around in that circle.
Because it takes a lot of focus, and we've got a lot of eyes. I can't wait to film that last tooth gap that we cut.
Well, we got about a quarter to go, and he's looking down at the segment like something happened. He's got confidence. I think we're good. He's ready to feed the handle, and away he goes. And no pressure on him. There's only 2, 4, 6, 8 people sitting there watching him, plus the entire internet. Do you have any way of knowing how many viewers we have? How many people? We're at 34 viewers. So plus the 8 that are in here. So we're at 40 and change watching him. But
for the narrow niche of gears, we are smoking it today.
Well, but I'm just telling him, no pressure at all.
No pressure. 34 and 8.
Yep.
That is the answer to most things. It's either 42 or 73 or something like that.
That's right. Well, we could cut a gear using those numbers.
We could. We almost chose that, but 73 is prime.
I don't think I had that wheel or something. We
didn't. We're off spec from the start here. We're a little bit off spec, but you know, there's a lot of learning. I mean, and if you're one of those 34 guys at home, you may not be you may be in your shop by yourself, but I bet you could cobble together something that would come close to this, different arbor, whatever, and it's gonna, you know, begin to give you some ideas. These single row cutters, you know, you need to buy the right one, but if you have a gear you want to make, if you have a lathe too, you can make the arbor. You can buy these single row cutters usually for less than $100, 70 on eBay, sometimes as low as 25 or 30. If you're not trying to cut a really high quality one, and you know, start cutting gears, get started. You know.
Well, I tell you, the setup y'all are looking at home, that's just a slitting saw arbor. That's one of my expanding mandrels that I use on the lathe to do various parts. I usually use that for drive pulleys and stuff to do. If I've got a drive pulley that's damaged and I have to do a weld buildup and I have to reprofile a drive sheave or something like that, I use those for that. And you know, there's nothing super special about this except the actual gear cutter.
Yeah, the gear cutter will have a keyway too, and it's great practice in your lathe to make something that's consistent.
Some of my don't. I've got a love-hate with a keyed, cut off wheel, or you know. Absolutely explode. Are we linked? brand, and I bought all genuine Vertex accessories when I did purchase the dividing Vertex tailstock. It was on my
you know, to hold.
we got to back out here a little bit. But we're still watching you. Don't you worry. Losing link. Are we good? Okay. Comments about Salem?
A little bit. Yeah, we got another question. So they want to know who the manufacturer is of the cutter.
Who's the manufacturer?
And the ones that I'm familiar with are Polish. That's one of the brands that's carried by some of the manufacturers that we purchase from. But there are manufacturers in China. There's manufacturers in Indonesia and India. India's our newer powerhouse. You can buy even much higher quality ones from one particular company, particularly called Ash Gear. They can make some very high quality ones, but these are what I would call roughing cutters, and they're commodity cutters to rough out and cut your spaces. So hopefully that answers your question.
I've seen them on Shars.com.
Yeah.
Have you used the Shars cutters?
I don't have that.
I have two of them, so
I mean,
I'm going to
we typically use Hobbs.
this is here. This transmitter is better than
A lot of these cutters,
we'll see.
they're a really high quality cutter. That tends to be what we use.
I believe so. I've breezed through the catalog, not really did a deep dive, but I did breeze through the catalog, and I see that they do have gear cutting.
Well, I know one thing. I have looked at Shars a lot recently because I was in Venison, and they have one that's really tall, so you can turn big diameter gears on it. So they definitely have some nice equipment. I've got a lot of Shars for the shop. Mainly because this coming here, I've won some of the raffle, and I've bought some more because I like it.
I've been using them in the shop. I've been using them on and on. They work great.
Yeah.
You know, any more comments?
No.
We're doing good. Are we back online? Doing good. Let's try to get in a little deeper and watch that. I want to see that last cut.
Yeah, we got like.
Yeah, we're getting really close. And we're going to interview Noah when he's all over if he doesn't slip a segment like that.
I don't know.
Something just happened.
I didn't see anything. The cameraman from my view. But I saw the look on someone's face, so I don't know.
I feel like a sports commentator on this one.
You make a pretty good color man.
That? I dated myself on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had box seats way back in the early 80s. You're there. Hot summer night, weeknight, just go game. The bat, the green of the grass, it's just awesome.
That's not unusual. Measure it.
I can appreciate that. Do you that was the NSK. Oh yeah. You had your hands on one. I remember me and you unboxed it, played with it, we showed it to the audience.
I tried to find out who won it to see if I could buy it off them, but I think they bought it. That you had to mail it to them or something. But
No, that was a 4-jaw winner. I don't remember who won that. They left that with that. You know, those are available at .com. .com has those DNA stock.
mine from we used to take abrasive enough to take the gear off without really marring the metal, and then you come back in with some polishing and have a scratch-free, really clean surface. So those guys are, but the rubberized ones. Yeah.
Oh, close call. Yeah. He almost hit a goal on that one, right into the other. They forgot to. It's called WB, working backwards. Well, that's what. Because everything they do doesn't make any sense when they're the acronym for Warner Brothers. They go, "Oh, you're at WB, you're working backwards." That's their credo. This Viva asks the questions.
You got a burr. Now you can stack several gears together, and that's part of it. So, all right. Should we talk quieter now?
Is this your last cut, or are you down to your last cut plus one?
It's taking the full team to keep us on track here.
It takes many monkeys to. Oh wait, I can't say that.
Yeah, so I don't know. You gotta really like focus in your shop when you're doing this. I mean, it's not easy to do this.
It's not easy when two monkeys like me and you are just commenting about dumb stuff and making him focus and try to do. I love this.
All sorts of comedians do it, so I don't. Oh,